What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bushwick Bears Petty Crime Review.
Today we are talking not wearing a seatbelt with our guest, Wilfred Padua, everyone.
Hey, hello.
That's right. Wilfred's here with his brimming energy. By the way, everybody, come to the stand tonight. If you're listening to this on the day that we release it, we are at the stand, 7 p.m., Bushwick Bears Live.
Racism isn't over as long as we have cell phone cameras. It was over, and then we had cell phone cameras, and
then all of a sudden it came back.
and all of a sudden it showed up again.
All the hot button issues that conservatives don't like gay rights and trans rights and stuff like that, those tend to increase in times of those sorts of issues start to go up in economic instability. And the things that liberals don't like, racism and, white supremacy and like nationalism, those also go up during economic instability. So it's like all the bad. So really the underlying cost, though, is the economy. But the news only addresses the results.
The symptoms.
Yeah. Not like, hey, this is what the problem is. We have to blame everybody for all the police shootings and all this sort of stuff.
It's almost not even economic instability, but the perception of economic instability. Just because people, once they feel like there's a fixed supply of money or things, they become more tribal and defensive because they're
You grew up in
afraid.
a liberal bubble.
Oh yeah, even I would say I grew up in more of a liberal bubble than you did.
Sure, right.
Where did you?
Because I was in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
And I don't know. But I also had like Republicans around me. I went to a Catholic school, so like I've got a bunch of rich kids around me that like are. I used to carpool every day with this Mexican dude who would like his parents are in the army, and he was just like so about Republican beliefs and everything, and I couldn't. Blew my mind that because I was like 17-year-old meeting a Mexican who was all about George Bush, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was a big thing in George Bush's campaign. Like, Viva los Trump or Viva los Bush. Remember
Right,
those years? And it was a really big thing.
Well, he gave amnesty to 14 million legal Mexican immigrants.
Really?
Yeah, during his presidency. So they love him. Yeah.
In my experience, there's like two types of conservative Republicans, right? And it's funny to me. Like, there's the people just trying to protect their money, which fine, I understand that. And then there's
Which is actually everyone. Some just pretend.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying.
But go on.
Well, no, but then there's the
Wilfred's
other.
blown away by that fact. That's
Democrats want to protect their money too. They just don't want to protect your money.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's like the rednecks who think that they're protecting like their way of life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like poor rednecks who are like Republican. That one I never understood. I was like, ain't nobody in Washington give a fuck about you, bro.
Right.
You think anybody cares about you? You're poor. No one fucking gives it. You're cannon fodder, man. You're a cheap workforce.
Is this what you guys normally talk about?
No.
You did this. You drove this out of us.
Damn it.
No, usually
you're the one that called us white nationalists.
I just said you look like it. I thought we were going to do a bit.
I think I look fucking handsome as fuck, okay?
Yeah, we always just fall into having to justify how cool we really are based in contrast to how we look.
I spent a vast majority of my stimulus check on fucking 1990s wrestling action figures, okay? That's what I did, and I'm not afraid to fucking say it.
Are those worth a lot right now?
Some are, yeah.
No, the answer's no.
Not when you
Some are,
open them out of the box and play with
some
them.
are even then. I have a pretty cool collection in my room.
It's
not
true. I've
not
seen
when
it.
you
It
try
does
to
look pretty
fuck
cool.
them alone in your room.
They're ripped, but like in an obtainable
I used
way.
to
Off the top rope and into my ass.
I heard they're worth even more covered in semen.
It's just me working out childhood trauma, just jacking off on fucking WWF action figures.
I used to take my sister's like Barbie dolls and
no.
like have my GI Joes hook up with them.
Oh, that's not bad. Your sister probably did the same thing.
Well,
She just had more commitment when she did it.
Well, when she did it though, she was like the Barbie's taller, so she's like, I don't date short guys.
Swipe left.
I never got around to it, but I was gonna start an Instagram of just me with action figures doing weird sex positions.
That's an OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Don't start an Instagram.
I'm
Start
gonna
an
get
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. It's just action
It
figure
feels like
porn.
a Robert Dean move.
A
Like
puppet
Right,
show.
yeah.
he would do
OnlyFans.
that for like an entire year.
Yeah. Brandon Scott Wolf did that. He did Empty Plates of New York. And it was, remember that? It was like, so
Yes.
anytime he finished a meal, he took a picture of it, posted to his Instagram.
Daniel
it.
Carroll, do you guys know him?
I've heard the
think I
name.
do.
Dan Carroll, I think he was out here, but he's a comic in LA now. And he would take a picture of his food, but he'd have the camera always facing at him.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, but it's also like, how long could that bit last?
You know,
it's really up to you. You can make that bit last forever.
see, that's it. So one time, I saw a cop illegally parked outside of a Dwayne Reed. He parked basically in the middle of the road in front of a fire hydrant, right? And I was walking past and I saw he had the little like identification in his window. I'm sorry, it was a private vehicle. It was like a Toyota Corolla.
He had the little, I've
and he
seen
had
that
the little thing
thing.
or whatever. And so I took down his name and I took down his information. I reported him to the cops. I took pictures of it.
You are such a Karen. Like I swear to God.
No.
And let me
But
tell you,
against
this
cops,
is not
right.
but
That's
this
like-
is not the first case where I've heard. I can't recall the other cases because it happens so often. Derek telling me of something where he's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna tell on this guy."
Yeah.
He does it
Never.
all
No.
the time.
No. I tattled on the cops to the cops because at that same spot I got a ticket, and so I'm pissed off because I'm like, I should not be subject to different laws than this fucking guy. This guy should do the same one.
Look, I'm always on your side because you are like fighting against injustice, but you never let anything slide. Nothing gets by you.
I don't.
You're all
Nope.
like Derek has no chill at all.
You know, some might use the word petty, which ties into our purpose here, which is we're discussing petty crimes.
Yes.
And I believe yours is related to driving in some way.
I've got two.
Okay.
Because I don't know how long this podcast.
No,
We're going
not that
all
long, not
fucking
that
night,
long.
baby.
Yeah.
We'll riff, but
Do
pick
this-
the
do
best
this-
one
I know what
first.
you do the seatbelt one.
Do the seatbelt one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this just happened last August. I was I work for a moving company, so I was in a moving truck.
Oh, you were working even?
Yeah, and we had just filled up the truck with gas, so we were
Yeah.
pulling out of a gas station. On the same block, like half a block down. I'm putting on my seatbelt. Cop pulls it he's doing an illegal ass U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
Sees me putting on the seatbelt, and then he puts on his light, pulls us over, and I got a $138 ticket
Jesus.
for not having my seatbelt.
You were in
on.
the passenger
you're the
I was
side?
on the
side.
passenger side.
Right.
That is
Uh,
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's exactly what happened to me when I got pulled over in that spot with that cop.
in the spot with the cop.
with the cop,
in front
yeah.
of
So
Dwayne
that's
Reed?
why I was such a Karen about it. Thank you.
That's such fucking horseshit. Because first of all, who fucking cares? It's a stupid law, right? I'm going to put that out there right now. It doesn't matter, right? If you
If I want to fly through a windshield, let
that's
me
your,
fly
that's
through
your
a windshield.
business. But really, it's just definitely one of those laws that's put in place so cops have a reason to pull you over when they don't have a reason, right?
I didn't know you guys were libertarians.
You know how I feel about cops, but
But this
Jericho's
is also,
inconsistent. I don't know if it's libertarian. I think it's just
that's true. I like that there's a fire department, and I just hate the police.
this was also like last August in the heat of all, like probably a month after the heat of the fuck cops.
Yeah, like the George
Time,
Floyd,
George Floyd,
protest.
ACAB shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, come on, bro, you look so bad right now.
Right.
You're giving me the pettiest ticket
yeah.
yeah.
over like
To an Asian person.
Yeah,
during Asian violence.
you have no idea that next year.
Oh yeah, sorry, this was
It was a year early.
Yeah, in about 9 months, this is gonna look bad.
Well, this was the start of it. This was the genesis of it. Was him giving you that ticket.
Yeah.
That's how the whole
Were
thing
you
started.
So can I ask you a couple questions? Just because I want to, just for my own picture here. When he stopped you guys, the other guy had his seatbelt on. The guy driving.
Yeah,
Who was
Okay,
it?
it was Andy Haynes.
Oh, it was Andy Haynes.
So
okay.
Andy had his seatbelt on, and you didn't. Did he ask for his ID and registration and all that, or did he just come in and go, "You didn't have your seatbelt on. Here's a ticket"?
Well, I believe he just gave me the ticket.
And then were you
He
kind
asked
of
for my ID.
lippy with him?
I was like, I was rolling my eyes because but I'm also like an Asian guy. I'm not a black guy, so I'm not gonna like get shot. But I'm an Asian guy, so I might get beat up. Like, I don't.
I want to see that
you're
race
trying to
versus whatever
Yeah.
chart that they're going
Yeah.
by.
You're trying to interject
I'm
your
on the
own level of
spectrum.
Karen into your race.
Well, I'm on the spectrum of like I'm not because I was taught.
Yeah.
I'm not a white dude, so my older cousins and my older relatives were like, if a cop pulls you over, like anything can happen, because of my race. So I was just like annoyed because I'm a millennial and I'm entitled in that
Right.
aspect, but and also annoyed because I was aware in this moment in time that cops are fucking
The
piece
history
shit.
of New York police and Asian
But
community.
still, the Asian in me and the minority was like, don't get lippy because, and I could be the next, could possibly be a George Floyd in this situation.
Well, yeah. I mean, when
Yeah, but
dealing with
nobody
the
would
cops,
care. Is that statistically
it's always the
a
case.
thing with the Asian community and the police?
It's just being a minority in general. You're like afraid that anything could happen because it's
everyone should be afraid of the police.
Right,
I mean, I'm
I can
always
see
afraid of the
anybody.
cops.
Right, I can see anybody being afraid of crooked cops. But weren't you? Somebody had a bit about like an Indian dude basically being like us people of color, and it's like not. You can't just conflate the experiences of every minority together as if it's the same problem, right?
yeah. But the way that I was raised is the way that I was
To watch
raised.
out, yeah.
You can
Like,
do whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Touche.
Yeah,
Well,
I was just raised to believe that this is a possibility.
They're a threat.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that that's a smart thing to teach children.
I'm always afraid of the cops because I'm always usually doing something wrong. so it's a little bit justified.
Well, that's the
but
thing. Is like because I mean, and I don't know how deep we want to get into this, but if you're guilty or not doesn't mean you deserve to get your ass kicked or shot.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
It doesn't
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't care if you had weed in your pocket or something. You don't deserve to get your fucking face smashed in.
Justice
Right,
is
no,
what
for
you're
sure.
looking for.
A lot of these tickets, like that ticket, you brought up like why do they do it and whatnot. It's like, well, if you go through flying, and this is what I've read over the years, if you go flying through that windshield, right?
Which we were driving a 20-foot box truck.
Right.
So
Nothing's gonna happen.
nothing was going to happen to us.
You're gonna
Sure.
destroy some other tiny car.
Yeah.
Sure, but this is like so say you do actually go flying through that windshield. Now, instead of it just being like a traffic accident, it's a traffic accident with a fatality, with like an EMT visit or whatever, and they're like, it's to prevent having to have that sort of situation happen.
Preventative
Sure.
maintenance. That's
Preventative
That's
maintenance.
what the
Sure.
police would like to sell you that idea. Really is an excuse.
Big
to,
money maker. Yeah.
It's make money and to pull people over and for a reason
Find something else.
to find something else.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's
Well,
what
also-
the reason I'm asking if you got lippy because like I've been pulled over for multiple of things that were all bullshit, and they'll be like, oh, so this and this, and they want to run your name, and they'll be like, oh, we're gonna search your car, and if you say no, they don't search your car, they're like, okay, you can just get out of here. And I want to be like, what about my seatbelt ticket, bitch? But I'm also don't want to get killed because they do kill white people too. Cops are fucking awful.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But that's the thing is like they don't really care about the seatbelt. It's just an excuse to open the door.
Yeah, and scare the shit. I've told the story before when me and my buddy got searched in Staten Island, and they're just aggressive to the point where by the time they find nothing and they're like, go ahead, you're just relieved they're not fucking with you anymore rather than
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm so
Yeah.
scared of fucking
Well,
cops.
it's afterwards the dude. So he submits it online. You're supposed to like check online to see
Yeah.
when the ticket.
right.
They don't. They barely notify you. And then I checked. It was supposed to be posted within the next 5 days. Not posted. I was like, oh, maybe
Lucky
he was
break.
just being an asshole in the moment, realized like it's a seatbelt ticket. And then he posted like 35 days later. I was like, and for that window of like 21 days, I was like, cops aren't so bad. And then as soon as I get as soon as I see what the price is, like $138, I was back to like, fuck cops.
That's
fuck.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
a really expensive ticket.
Did you
for
try to
something like
fight
that
it,
too.
or did you just say fuck
No,
it?
because I don't want.
It's sometimes it's not worth your time.
I
do
fought
it.
mine.
Did you get a?
Of course you did, Derek. What did we say earlier? That you're the type of
I did
person
fight
that
mine.
would.
You know, I got mine the day we got back. The day Boris and I and Brandon Scott Wolf and Ann Clark went on the road, and the day we got back, she had picked me up from somewhere, and we were talking about the viability of my comedy career and how much money it was costing. And then immediately during the argument,
You and your
got
wife
pulled over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the passenger seat, and the cop, he came around the window and was like, yeah, I'm citing you for this. And I was, of course, a real dick about it, you know? And she was too, because she was like, this is bullshit. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, sort of thing. But this guy, he was a street cop. So I went to go fight it he was just a patrolman or whatever. So I delayed it by like a year and a half, 2 years, kept fighting it. I paid a reduced fee for fighting it.
Yeah.
But I showed up in traffic court against this guy, and he was now like on the gang task force and stuff like that. So like clearly like my ticket's like just another check in the box of like, oh, I met my quota so I can move up within the system sort of thing. And then I had to swear in on a Bible, and he didn't have to. And they're like, were you in violation of this? And I was like, no, I didn't break the law at all. And he didn't have to. And he was like, well, he was in violation of the
I
law.
will say, if they made me swear in on a Bible, it wouldn't change anything.
No, I lied. But the fact of the matter is that it's bullshit that this guy, they're just going to take his word without him having to put his hand on a Bible.
It could
Bible
also be
means
whatever.
So little to me.
Yeah, it could, I was going to say it could be whatever. I'm an atheist, so I swear on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when I do it.
Do they make like Muslim dudes swear on a Quran?
You do it on a Quran. There was actually a
Really?
Republican, I forget who it was. It might have been McConnell or somebody like tried to start. No, it was somebody dumber than McConnell even. Somebody recently tried to start shit because like somebody swore in on a Quran. He's like, it's got to be the Bible, and then like, no, it doesn't.
Oh, it was what's her face
I
from
mean-
Minnesota.
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, Lana Marsh.
What about
But
like
some
what
Republicans
about like a
started shit.
Scientologist? So you just swearing on like
That's a
Do they
great
have a Bible?
question.
You swear on a copy of Mission Impossible 2?
No, what's up? Battlefield Earth. Babattlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth, you're right. My bad. My
Hubbard
bus.
book.
Dianetics.
Dianetics. Yeah, they bust out
Dianetics,
Dianetics. You know what's funny is like the thing about that law, because like overarching, I'm like I am pretty anti Law and Order, you know, but I do think it's funny that like so many people were so up in arms about the mask wearing, but they're cool with having insurance on their car. They're cool with wearing a seatbelt. They're like, so you don't care about that?
A lot of
How's that
those
impeding your
people
rights?
are not cool with wearing a seatbelt.
I
Have
know,
you
it's
seen
true, it's true.
clips?
And most of them don't have insurance either.
My favorite are like the clips. There's the DSA clips, and then there's also the Libertarian Convention clips. And that clip, I forget if it was a seatbelt or they might have even just asked, should you have a license to drive? It might have even just been license to drive. And then they're all one at a time like, no. Hell no. What's next? A license to use your own toaster? And then I think it was Gary Johnson was like the one libertarian running that like anyone knew or had a chance. And he's just like, well, you know, some things might require, and everybody just starts booing him.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. I don't. It's like one of those things that it's not worth like dying on your shield over. I'll just put my seatbelt on.
It's not worth It's just not worth even interacting
Dude,
with.
my fucking mom is so. I love my mother. All right, she is a sweet, wonderful.
We've
damn
all loved your mother.
All right, get to the
We
good.
should.
Get to the good part.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, she's got a relatively new car, and it's one of those crossover. It's like a perfect white lady car, exactly what you'd expect, and it beeps when you don't put your seatbelt on.
Yep.
And she will not put her fucking seatbelt on, and she'll driving, and it'll just beep beep, and she'll. I'm not gonna put my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, that noise is killing me.
Yeah.
Please put your seatbelt on.
I know my brother does that. Sometimes he calls me and I hear it, and I was like, "Put your fucking seatbelt on." I hear it over the phone. How do you tolerate?
I
that?
don't want some machine telling me what I gotta do.
Just take the seatbelt and plug it in
Behind
and then
you.
sit down.
Right,
That's a great move.
Or just put a seatbelt
But
on.
no, my mom's like, no, after 20 miles, it only beeps every 45 seconds.
Jesus
she
Christ.
like knows. And I'm like, what are you? Oh.
She's made a whole playlist where it fits to the rhythm of the seatbelt beep, so that
It's been
It's all Daft
she's been that way,
Punk.
and my mom is like a law abiding citizen, right? Like she was like one of those people. I think we were talking about is like cops have really fucked up my life and have fucked over my sister really terribly. And because one cop was nice to her in like 94, she's like, well, not all cops are bad, because one guy let her go from a speeding ticket.
Right.
And so, but that fucking seatbelt thing, I don't know what it is with that. She just can't handle being told what to do.
Was your cop was white then?
I think he was like half white and half like Latino or something like that.
All bad?
Yeah.
Derek said that, not me.
I'm kidding, obviously.
I was trying to. I only yes-anded because I thought we would all be there to like try to.
Everybody
try to
wants to be a
continue the riff.
pussy and distance themselves from the good jokes.
I was just waiting to see. Sorry.
But yeah, he was. I mean, he was a cop. So like at that
It
time,
doesn't matter.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't
definitely
matter what, because like I was seeing like black cops in you see like black cops in the in like last summer, and it was just like no matter what shade you were, you were a bad person.
I got threatened by a black cop when I was 16. I had a cop threaten me with his billy club. I was like, "I'll beat your ass, boy, if you don't like do whatever," sort of thing. And it was just it was clearly him and his like two women cop friends like having fun.
I
or
just
whatever.
imagine like a diverse like bully cop crew.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Like that's just the thing. It's like cops are just like out on a Friday, Saturday night looking
They all
for
just
kids
look
to
like
fuck with.
like theater kids
Right.
acting as cops.
right.
Have you guys ever been? And I just found out this is against my fucking rights. But have you ever?
What else is new?
Have you ever been searched by a lady cop?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Can't say I've had the pleasure.
So there's men cop like they know the.
This is like the Lil Wayne song in my mind.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm getting horny.
It almost felt. It's almost felt like that because I was in the middle of nowhere. And I've always have my like game plan about what I'm going to say to cops when they talk to me, and then the second I just get so scared, I don't stick with it. Or this time I remembered halfway through, but she made me get out of the car. I, again, wasn't even doing anything. She's like, "Get out of the car," and then she's like, "I'm going to search you," and I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What? Like, what?" And she's like, and then she just literally like turned me around and put me on the back thing, and it almost felt like it was going to be a sexual
like
thing.
you're getting violated.
But she did. She felt me up, but then she scooped from the base of my dick past my balls up to my asshole. I mean, I'm wearing pants still, but she aggressively scooped my taint.
Yeah, the
And then
place where you might hide a bag.
She grabbed my junk, full on grabbed my junk, and I was like, I looked at her, and she was like, "I just want to make sure you don't have a knife or something on you," and I'm like. A man's never. I've been searched plenty of times.
Right, they usually like kind of graze with the back of their hand.
graze the back. And she like literally just scooped my taint, and I just was like, okay. It was intense.
I've had guy officers do that sort of shit. I mean, because they're looking for something, you know,
Right.
but never a woman.
I've had guy friends do that to me.
A little credit card action.
That's one of my favorite games to play at parties when it's all my guy friends. It's like, let's check if you have a hernia.
Yeah.
Turn and cough.
They do it with their with the jeweler's loop.
Really inspects the veins.
We have the one eye on this.
Yeah, they get real close.
I'm
realizing this entire podcast is just so Jericho can get shit off his chest.
it just happened to
Yeah,
be the
kind
first.
of
It just
is.
happened to be like one of the first ones about cops. Not really, but like
No,
They've
not,
all
not even
kind of
close.
been
all
about
kind of been
cops.
cops. I guess I got fired up.
It is a crime
it's fu-
podcast after
It
all.
is a crime podcast. I was at the I went to the grocery store. And
What petty crimes don't involve cops?
Right.
Well, if you don't get caught.
if you don't get caught, there's some petty is a it's a great
But also
term.
we're using the term loosely, like literally anything. Like I would consider like I don't know, one of those people who have a really specific order at Starbucks with like too many things on their drinks. You might call it a petty. You know, like a social crime could be a petty crime.
One of my roommates is too hyped at 8:00 in the morning. I think that's a fucking crime.
Right. Right.
Always hyped. I love him. He's a great guy, and I love his energy at like 10 p.m. At 8 a.m. I don't need to. What are you guys doing? Why are you yelling, dude? My other roommate, I went to the grocery store and we were walking into the grocery store. And, we both grabbed our own carts. We're gonna split off once we get inside, and there is a police officer standing by the door, and he's got his mask down around his mouth, like not covering his nose. And my roommate's a saucy little white gay guy, and I'm in front, and I go right past him, and I just hear him go, "It's not covering your nose." And I was just like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Nope, I'm not. And I asked him later, I was like, did anything happen? And he just looked at me and just gave me a dirty look.
I mean,
But he's the guy that would say that to a cop. I'm like, me? I will not. A cop will find, if a cop wants to fuck you up, they're going to find a reason to fuck you up.
yeah, the ones I don't like are the ones at the subway station with like to search you or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
stop and
Oh, like
frisk
that,
you.
like
The stop and
randomly.
frisk ones, yeah, but then also too there was
Back
that whole
search, right?
there was that whole thing last summer where it was like there were 4 cops at every fucking subway station
Yeah.
to like start frisking people down and like look for crap or whatever, and that it's like I'm on my way to work. That's my worst nightmare. Is just like especially at the time, like if I had like a little bit of weed on me or something like that or whatever.
I would love to just go through those and just get a bag with like nothing illegal, but just the weirdest shit possible, and then just come into the subway looking suspicious as fuck.
You like
and the cop-
dildos.
yeah,
and, like,
Yeah.
like a dildo glued to a
And-
slinky, like just something that's like
in a
how does
Hello
that
Kitty
even-
backpack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something.
What is this?
Or a backpack full of racist artifacts.
So
But like different kinds of.
Yeah, like
so
a-
they're just confused. They're like, what is this?
yeah.
Who is this guy?
So are you now like super scared of fucking cops or any more or less?
Do you
or-
wear your seatbelt?
Yeah, I do.
Where-
Well, I
I
didn't
mean, that's an
the other
expensive
day.
lesson.
It is an expensive lesson.
That is.
Well, you know what I've learned is that if I see a cop, this is how I got caught. I
Yeah.
was putting on the seatbelt.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
So
'cause then
he saw me putting on the seatbelt.
Yeah.
I was wearing a like black shirt, so it's not like he would have seen that there wasn't a
Yeah.
seatbelt.
Totally.
on me. So what I've learned is don't put on your seatbelt when you
Well,
see a cop.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like the people that like slam on their brakes when they see a cop on the highway.
Yeah, do you know what I do? I don't know
Yeah.
if this works, but just in my mind, especially if I pass them and I don't want them to think I'm braking, I use my handbrake so that the brake lights don't go on in order to
You're
slow
gonna
down.
flip your fucking car.
You're not gonna flip your car. It uses the same
Yeah.
brakes. I'm not doing it I'm not like hitting it all the way at 80 miles an hour, but I'll do a light handbrake until my speed goes down to 65.
Well, I used to work I worked at a grocery store when I was a teenager, and I had this hiding spot that I thought was so rad where I'd go and like hide so I wouldn't work, and it was behind in the dairy case behind there. And one day I go back there and I'm really literally just trying to not work for like an hour. I'm trying to hide. And I see the security guard there, and I'm like, and we were cool. He was like an old black guy. We were chummy. We would just bust each other's balls all the time. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, dude, come here. And he showed me, he's like, it's right in the makeup aisle. He's like, dude, all I do is I catch every single day. I'll catch like 5 girls still in makeup right here. I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. I never thought that. And then I started to ask him, like, what are some of the things he looks for? And he goes, dude, every time if you're just watching someone and they go like this, left, right,
Yeah.
they're about to steal something. He's like,
Yeah.
that's all I do. I wait for them to do that, and then I go walk up.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That actually made me think of another petty crime that I did, where I think it was freshman year of high school. There's a McDonald's about 2 blocks away from.
I
from
do
my school.
consider eating at McDonald's a petty crime.
Go
Go on.
And I got whatever I ordered and a water, and then you go to the soda machine, and you hit you hit
the
whatever
ultimate
soda,
penny fry.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they the lady caught me
No.
and yelled at me.
You really?
And I'm a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, and I was so filled with shame. For
Yeah.
like,
Oh my!
I gotta say, at least a month. Like I felt guilty.
I thought no one ever, as an adult, right
Like,
now.
what McDonald's employee is paid enough to give two shits
She
about
stopped
someone
me.
doing
Like I
that?
couldn't walk away. She like made me pour it out.
Wow.
Oh,
So she made you
Yeah,
waste it.
I had to
Yeah.
waste it and then get water.
She made you waste
That's
that 2
so-
cents worth of food coloring.
You're the first person I've ever even heard of getting caught doing that, and we've
Yeah.
all done that.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
I don't drink soda, and as a child, I completely relate to that. I might have been like, "Oh my god, fuck! Like, what am I gonna go to jail?"
I didn't go
Yeah.
back to that McDonald's for like 2 months.
Wow. But now, as an adult, like, I can only imagine, like, if I were to do it and somebody were to catch me, like, I can only imagine just continuing to do it while looking them directly in the eyes and then walking. Like, they can't put their hands on me. Even as a child, like, the truth is, if they put their hands on you, you could have probably sued them for assault.
Yeah, but I don't know any.
But you don't
Right,
know
you
that.
don't know
Yeah.
that
Well,
when
when
you're
you're
a
a
kid,
little,
you
when
just
you're a
have,
little
like,
kid,
yeah.
it's I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I'm not
that's-
a 14-year-old. It's like, oh, hold on, I know my rights.
You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't have a law degree at 14.
No, and as I think we've talked about this on this podcast before, but as a little kid, when an adult said something to you when you were little, it was like the law. It might as
Yeah.
well have been your parents.
Yeah.
I remember I was at a birthday party when I was a little kid at like 5 years old. I went to some kid had a birthday party at McDonald's, and we played some game or whatever, some like group game. I didn't win. And I sat down. I felt really bad about not winning. And I looked at some other kid and I was like, well, I really actually won that game or whatever. And some woman who was working at McDonald's cleaning up the trays from like the trash thing, she goes, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Don't lie about that.
Look at
And I
these
was like,
savage
I
McDonald's
know.
employees. I
But that's-
love it.
It's exactly why they work at McDonald's. It's
Yeah.
'cause they,
yeah, oh, for
they
sure.
have no human like no skills
I
with
still-
human
Or no
interaction.
authority
My
over
mind
other
is
people.
blown that you were the guy that got caught stealing the soda.
Yeah,
That's
man.
fucking hilarious.
And the
High
amount
crimes and
of
misdemeanors.
the amount of guilt that I
I'm sure.
lived
No,
with.
as a little kid, I would have
Oh
as
my
well.
God.
Yeah, I love that video of that. It's a McDonald's where the lady hops over the fence and tries to beat up the guy, and he starts whipping her with the spatula.
Oh.
And then he starts beating and then it goes from being defending himself to now taking out all those shitty employees. It's so gratifying to watch. When it goes to the point where the other people, everyone at first is like on his side. They're like, yeah, hit that bitch. But then he keeps hitting her, where it's to the point where they're like, whoa, you got to stop. Whoa, this is more. She's already dead. You know,
Yeah.
like in The Simpsons.
She's had enough, Grimace.
he just, and it's like, yeah, the fourth or fifth one, even I was like, and like, there's something about hurting a customer that is like so gratifying. They've caused so much pain over my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you guys, that was still like is blowing my mind.
Should we at least rate the idea of? Because I'm still torn to get back to the seatbelt thing. Like, you know, it'd be crazy, right? Is like years from now, you know, knock on wood, it never happens. But you get into a car accident, your seatbelt is on. You could have been much worse, and then you have a third revelation of how you feel about that cop. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this isn't justifying it because I don't think I agree with seatbelt laws. Although my mind's not really made up, but like you have phase one where fuck that cop for giving me a ticket. Phase two, it looks like the tickets got spared. Maybe the cops aren't so bad. Phase three, $135. Fuck that cop. Phase four, car accident. They're like, if you weren't wearing a seatbelt, you'd be dead today. And you're like, wow, if that cop never gave me that ticket, I might have not been wearing that seatbelt today.
I'm realizing I don't wear my seatbelt still.
Yeah, but you know what, though?
Because I was like,
Just to not give him the satisfaction
Well,
of
it's like,
saving your life one
I
day.
do wear my seatbelt if I'm in a friend's car.
Yeah.
I don't wear my seatbelt if I'm in an Uber.
He's a professional, right?
Yeah, I don't wear one in the back seat.
I don't.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
if I'm with my
never.
wife, she's like, put on a seatbelt because they actually changed the law in New York that you have to wear it in the back as a passenger. I think that's
Yeah.
what she
I just
told
don't
me.
let my wife
Unless she just
drive.
told me that
Fuck
to
that
trick me
shit.
into putting my seatbelt on.
But I don't, and I don't, what is that?
Don't worry
Mhm.
about it.
Don't worry about it. Let's keep going through.
Yeah, no. So I think here's and this rating system is totally whatever approach you want to take to it. All right, and so
we rate the crime. We should explain this earlier in the podcast to people. Or
should we? I like the.
I don't like.
I'll
springing
figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
So go ahead, Derek. What do you think about rating the seatbelt?
Well, okay. I didn't. Wearing is. It's kind of dumb because there's that statistic where, like, I guess, like, people drove safer. There are actually less accidents that took place before seatbelts were installed.
Yeah,
in cars, and now seatbelts actually.
Well, yeah, it's because the speed that a car could operate at was like max speed was like 35 miles an
Well,
hour.
not only that though, but people have a false sense of security because they have a seatbelt on. They think, oh well, I'm not going to die. And I think the instances where like seatbelts and airbags save people are, I'd have to look into this. I don't want to. I'd rather just be right in my mind that I don't think they do as
the
much.
way this guy just operates. He's like,
but I'm usually right. But I don't.
Yeah, it's because you can look up. Anyone could look up anything on their side
and find it. Yeah. I agree with that.
No, I've done plenty of research into stuff that I don't agree with.
I do think, now that I'm back in the microphone, that I think it's a fallacy, because I've heard that before, the phenomenon of, like, now that you feel you're safer, you're going to do that thing more and take more risk. And supposedly that's a fallacy. Like, I don't know it's specific to seatbelts, but I know they studied the phenomenon in general of when people think that they can get away with the thing more, they're taking a greater risk, and that's used as an argument, but it's usually a fallacy. Like, it doesn't usually overtake the benefit.
I will say,
that thing is.
I did hear Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is like probably the smartest man alive. That's a joke. I was trying to do it. I couldn't figure out a funnier way to say that. But Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about his phone, and he didn't have a case on the phone. He had like the brand new phone, iPhone that had just come out, and he was like, I am just safer with it because my brain is more precious about my phone. But I'm assuming that you'd also normalize the fact that you have a phone eventually.
Yeah.
Then you drop it, and then boom.
Yeah, you let your guard down one way or another.
Right. Well, all right. So as far as it being a crime, it should be one of those crimes where it's like, if they get you for something major, they should be able to ticket you then. Like if you're speeding and you weren't wearing your seatbelt, fine. Just being pulled over, just not wearing your seatbelt. Yeah. Lame as shit. So I'm gonna give it 0 out of 5. I think that's a lame ass crime.
Yeah. I think I'd probably have to side with you only because that shouldn't be the probable cause. Like, agreed if they pull you over for something else, but like if all they're pulling you over for that, it's just an opportunity for the situation to go awry. It's also like not a thing that puts anyone else in harm's way. So I don't even know if like, it feels like your own personal business. You know what's funny also, though, is if you get into a really bad car accident, if it's a cost thing, like an insurance cost thing, it's very possible that if you died, it's cheaper for everybody. And then you survive, but like fucking mangled because of the seatbelt, and that it's actually ends up being painful and expensive and a drawn out thing. So I could see the other. Anyway, I still rated, I think, 0 out of 5, but I was driving on 14th Street and where it's buses only. This happened twice now to me, where it's buses only, and I thought like, oh my God, thank God no cops saw me. I got a fucking camera ticket.
You got a camera?
I got a fucking camera ticket in the mail. So I could see a future where like, okay, you want to not risk police interaction with this? Fine. We now have cameras fucking everywhere. You don't wear a seatbelt, you get an automatic ticket mailed to you.
That's a whole other fucking episode. And we can deal with that.
That's a whole.
Yeah, that's true.
I give it a 0 out of 5 because I wear my seatbelt. I wear my seatbelt every single time, but I don't like laws in general, and I don't think that I should be, and I don't want it to be an excuse for a cop to open a door.
Jericho doesn't like the laws of nature either.
I love the laws of nature. The laws of nature on my side.
Fuck gravity, bro.
The laws of nature, if we still live by the laws of nature, I'd be the king of the fucking jungle, okay?
This is true.
I'd be doing so well for myself.
I don't understand what you think the laws of nature are.
I don't know. It was just a riff.
Because I was thinking, because in my mind, it's like the laws of nature, like I eat too much food, I get fatter.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well,
I could kill you with my bare hands.
Yeah,
Wilfred.
he's a big guy.
What I'm saying is that
but I could run around the block faster than you, so I'm not worried.
I mean, that's nature. Exactly. That's your defense, and that's fair, and I think that that's good. So what do you think? What would be your rating?
Oh,
for your
I
thing?
rate it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I was the one irate about it, so I guess I would have.
Yeah, it'd be funny if you're like 5 out of 5. I really deserve.
I mean,
the
I
shit
really
out of this.
deserve that too.
Yeah, it's like 3 out of 5. You know, I should. I would say, I would say 0 out of 5 in my heart. I'm gonna give myself a 2 out of 5 for putting on my seatbelt in front of. The crime was that I got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
me.
always the crime.
The crime
True.
was that
Yeah.
I let him see me, and I was stupid enough to put on my seatbelt in front of him.
That's a big thing in general when doing like any crime, really, especially like a victimist one, is just act as if you're not doing a crime.
I think I say the big thing is to just not get caught.
Well, that's true, but a way not to
think
get
about
caught.
How many times you've been in situations where, like, if you just act like you're supposed to be there,
Right.
because it's really awkward being a comedian and you show up at a club in a different city for the first time. You walk in and they don't know you because you're not fucking famous, and you got to go to the bartender, and the bartender's like, I mean, go talk to that person, and they're like, yeah, you can go in the. It's awkward, like. But if you just walk in and you're like, hey, what's up, guys? What's up? And no one's weird about it.
Yeah.
If you just act like you're there. I accidentally ended up on the fucking red carpet of premiere of that show Outlander, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, Outlander. Yeah.
It's
Highlander. It's Highlander.
No, it was it's
No,
a
it's
Scottish one, Outlander.
I'm joking.
I was the Kurgan.
Sorry to try to instill some comedy in this podcast.
Good
Well, I
luck.
rate your comedy 0 out of 5, Wilfred.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
Highlander.
trying. You start with a little bit of a seed of a bit, and to see, I was gonna say Highlander because of how old Jericho
Oh,
is.
hey, I like it. That's funny.
Ah,
And
there you
but you guys didn't let me get there.
It's true. There
You know
can
what
be
I
only
think?
one.
You know what I think they got to make is a T-shirt with a seatbelt already on it
Ooh,
that you could just wear when you drive.
I like it.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Now we're getting somewhere.
It's like the
The
tuxedo
tuxedo
tees.
shirt,
Right.
except
Yeah.
yeah, except for the tie.
Yeah. I get all my
Exactly.
safety gear at Spencer's Gifts.
I love it.
Cool. Well, Wilfred, thank you. Where can our audience find
Yeah,
you?
what's your stuff?
Oh, I at Wilfred Padua on everything. You can listen to my podcast, which is so much better than this.
Right, because Sean Patton's on it, right?
Yeah, Sean Patton,
Yeah.
and we just let him go. I just do the editing. It's Raw Beef. You can find it on anything.
Awesome. Check out Raw Beef.
Thank you.
Boy,